After that, Lazenby ended up getting a contract with Golden Harvest, the same company that made Bruce Lee's movies, some Jackie Chan movies, and a ton of other martial arts classics. Basically, the best film studio ever. Bruce Lee was really popular at the time, having done Enter the Dragon, which brought martial arts films to the mainstream. He was supposed to star in the Shrine of Ultimate Bliss after finishing Game of Death, but sadly died before he could. Instead, Lazenby ended up starring in the Shrine of Ultimate Bliss, and Game of Death was completed without Bruce Lee and released in 1978. The Shrine of Ultimate Bliss, also known as Stoner, was the first film Lazenby did for Golden Harvest in 1974. It stars Lazenby as Joshua Stoner, an Australian cop who is investigating the spread of a highly addictive drug created by an evil billionaire. It features some actors who were in Bruce Lee movies, including Angela Mao, who was in Enter the Dragon, among other films. The movie's about what you would expect. It's a poorly dubbed and dated 70s kung fu movie. Lazenby appears in it, dubbed, of course, with a big black mustache and hairdo that makes him look sort of like Burt Reynolds. The film consists of him wandering around Hong Kong and occasionally kicking and punching people. The plot is pretty stupid, and the film has some slow parts. The villains are all just a bunch of nameless goons. It's really fun to watch if you don't pay attention to what little of a plot there is and just watch it for the fight scenes, because the fight scenes are actually really good, and there's enough to keep you entertained. This is the only one of the three movies where he plays the good guy, and it is interesting as a curiosity if you can stomach some of the slower parts, and the fact the film is really dated and did not have much of a budget behind it. Honestly, though, I probably would have enjoyed the movie more if the copy I found wasn't such bad picture quality. They really need to clean up some prints of this and release it on DVD sometime. I enjoyed it, and there is some hilarity that comes out of the horrible dubbing and the hilariously stupid musical score. His second film for Golden Harvest was The Man from Hong Kong, aka The Dragon Flies, which came out in 1975. This is probably the most famous film he did for the studio. It was notable for a few reasons. It was the first Australian martial arts movie, thus introducing the genre to Australia, and also the first movie George Lazenby made for his homeland, since he's from Australia. It also features the hit song Sky High by Jigsaw, which was a hit in the US and the UK in 1975. It serves as the theme song for the movie, being played over the opening and closing credits of the movie. This one stars Jimmy Wong Yu, a Hong Kong actor who is most famous for playing the one-armed swordsman. Wong plays a Hong Kong cop who travels to Australia to catch a drug dealer. The dealer gets killed before he can be tried in court, and the suspect is a crime lord played by George Lazenby.
And there's a Chinese cop in town. He's beginning to annoy me.
The music in this movie is much improved from the last film. You can also tell that the budget was increased for this one. You get some good shots of both Hong Kong and Australia. It's definitely an improvement in terms of production over the previous film. The film is rife with cheesy dialogue and horrible acting.
I understand the gunman is dead. How did that happen?
I killed him.
Really? Well, in that case, you deserve a cigar.
Thank you. I don't smoke.
But man, it is a blast to watch. It moves at a very fast pace, has much better characters, and a much more engaging story than the previous film did. It is a great watch. Entertaining fight scenes and fun characters make it much more interesting than the previous film. All of the fight scenes are entertaining and well choreographed. Lazenby plays the mustached villain of the movie. He is very entertaining to watch. Much better than the villain in the previous film. He's so hilariously evil, and he gets plenty of scenes to show off his fighting skills too. Maybe not as many as in the previous film, but you can still tell he's really good. Wong Yu is fun to watch and great in the fight scenes. He's not a great actor, but he's charismatic enough that it doesn't really matter. He really gets into the fight scenes and fights with a bunch of random objects. The film ends with an excellent final fight between Lazenby and Wong Yu. Furniture is destroyed and Lazenby is lit on fire, a stunt which unfortunately ended up giving him third-degree burns. And also, Hugh Key's Byrne, who would later play the villain Toe Cutter in Mad Max, is one of the hilarious Australian cops in this and gets some fun, cheesy lines in this. The Man from Hong Kong is one of the most entertaining action movies I've ever seen. The characters are hysterical, there's tons of great fight scenes, and best of all, this movie is not dubbed. Since it was filmed in Australia, the film is in English. So you get to hear Lazenby's actual voice in this one. It's highly entertaining from beginning to end, and is a must-see for lovers of martial arts movies. Definitely a must-see for lovers of Hong Kong cinema and Golden Harvest movies. Lazenby did one more film for Golden Harvest in 1976 called The Queen's Ransom, or International Assassin in the US. Coincidentally, The Queen's Ransom was also the title of an episode of the show Saint, starring a different actor who played James Bond, Sir Roger Moore. Queen's Ransom also features Lazenby as a villain, and once again starred Jimmy Wong Yu. It also starred Angela Mao, so now it comes full circle. All three of these stars together at last in a Golden Harvest movie. Unfortunately, the film is the worst of the three. It's slow-paced, the plot is boring, and the fight scenes are few and far between. Lazenby is also barely in it. It hasn't aged well at all, and the pacing is just bad. It's so hard to find anyway, I don't even think it's worth it. There's definitely better Golden Harvest movies out there. After this, Lazenby mostly stayed away from martial arts movies, which is a shame because this guy could have been a huge action star if he'd continued. Lazenby's career never reached this peak again. He was mostly stuck with TV stuff and occasional cameos in stuff like The Return of the Man from U.N.C.L.E., where he played a character clearly meant to parody his Bond persona.
He's gonna blow! Come on! Come on!
Shaken, but not stirred.
As well as other parts on Batman Beyond, and the movie Gettysburg, strangely enough. After seeing more of this guy's movies, he's grown on me. And honestly, I think if he'd been given maybe a few more Bond movies, he could have grown into the role better. I kind of underestimated him when I first saw his Bond movie. I remember calling him James Bland at one point. But that being said, the guy now has my respect. You know, any guy that trained with Bruce Lee, that, great. For now, this is Drenzaria, Maverick Drenzaria, signing off.
We have all the time in the world.